Hey everybody, welcome to the 10th episode of SonoranSportsCards. Today is going to be a very soccer heavy podcast. We're going to be talking about the World Cup. The groups just got announced. So we're going to be talking about who we think is going to come out of their groups and maybe what young players are worth buying their cards for. But before that, we wanted to do a rundown of other sports. And to start us off in the NFL, one of my favorite players, and I'm pretty sure he's one of Mikey's favorite players,
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank, Frank
Frank the
Gore.
Tank.
Frank
Yes,
Gore is
sir.
announcing his retirement. He's going to sign a one-day contract with the 49ers and then hang him up. I saw something that he was going to sign like a front office job, which is kind of cool that he's going to be like hanging
Oh,
around.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was actually my brother was the one that sent me the post about them him saying he's going to be doing that. And I told him that I'm kind of hoping. I'm sure I could find one somewhere right now or whatever, but I'm hoping they do some kind of like resell of a Frank Gore jersey, you know. And I might consider picking one up if they did that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping happens. To be honest with you.
A good historic player to buy for sure, at least if you're a 49er fan.
Yeah, if you're a 49er fan, you should understand that Frank Gore is a legend.
Especially if you're a 49er fan that's like our age, because like our dads and stuff like that have like Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. But if you're like us, Frank Gore was like the only good thing for a long time of just shit 49er football play.
Hey, Patrick Willis. All right.
That's true. We had Patty Willis,
Justin Smith,
and we had the Cowboy Justin Smith. But there was some rough times, especially when you're a kid. Like, you don't really appreciate the defensive side of the ball
you really
much
don't.
when you're a kid. You're all about offense, and our quarterback play sucked ass. All we had was Frankie. He played 16 seasons officially, 2005 to 2020, 16 seasons. And I looked up some of his stats, and yardage-wise, so this is just rushing. It doesn't have to do with like pass catching or anything like that. But rushing-wise, 16,000 yards, like straight up flat 16,000. So 16 years divided, or 16,000 divided by 16 seasons. That's pretty easy math. 1,000 yards a season right there, which puts him third all time.
That's 16,000 flat is actually pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I really like that.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty glad that he doesn't have like 16,004 or something dumb like that. 16,000's nice and straightforward. And
I'd retire too.
Yeah, I know. Averaging 1,000 yards a season over that long a span is crazy.
That's crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, probably not so much 1,000 yards the past couple seasons, but he's been a really steady force. He's never been like the best running back in the NFL, right?
No.
You had Adrian Peterson, but he's always good. He's always a top 5 running back.
He reminds me of kind of like ranking wise, where you usually see like Nick Chubb in today's NFL. How he's never really number one, but he's usually like 3 or 4, 2 or 3 every single season. But that's kind of Nick Chubb is,
putting out the numbers on kind of a bad team, although the Browns have a lot higher expectations than the 49ers from back then did, but yeah. So he's third all-time in yards. He's also third all-time in attempts at 3,735 rushing attempts for a 4.3 average, which is pretty good, man. Pretty good.
That's first down yardage.
Yeah, you average 4.3 every down. Like Mikey says, you're getting first downs, you're scoring touchdowns. Which for touchdowns, he has 81 career rushing touchdowns, which is 19th all-time. So, I mean, you got third in rushing yards, third in attempts, 19th in touchdowns. I mean, that looks like a Hall of Famer to me, man. For sure.
Oh, I think he's an easy Hall of Fame. It's just the fact that he played 16 games as a running back should put him in the Hall of Fame, to be honest.
Yeah, 16 seasons. He's old, man. Especially when running backs start getting bad when they're like 30, or before 30 even.
Before 30, usually, to be honest.
Yeah, like Zeke is already falling off. He's not even 30 yet, or anywhere near 30. Yeah, so we just wanted to shout out Frankie. Not much else.
Shout out Frank Gore.
Not much else happened in the NFL.
Yeah, that's been kind of quiet, to be honest.
Pretty quiet after all those crazy trades. If you're a baseball fan, opening day is April 7th, so you got just 3 days left. It's going to be on Thursday. So after all that lockout and everything, it only got pushed back less than a week. So baseball about to start, which we'll talk about more when, there gets to be stuff to talk about. But right now it's happening. So there you go, baseball fans. If you're a basketball fan like me, the regular season is about to end on April 10th is the last games of the regular season, which means next episode, which will be on April 11th, is going to be all about basketball.
All about the official playoff
All
bracket.
about it. Yep, all about who we think's going to win the first round of the playoffs.
Good, dude. I've been trying to watch. I've been watching basketball every day here and there. Like, I'll look up the scores, turn on whatever game's on that I see that looks interesting. But like NBA, like playoffs is usually like I use that to fill the void between each NFL season for me. Like even when I wasn't super into basketball, I would usually always be watching one of the games in the playoffs because they're just always so intense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Basketball playoffs are intense, and unlike most seasons, we're gonna actually have a pretty interesting round one in the basketball playoffs.
Oh,
which
yeah.
usually doesn't happen.
There's gonna be some big old games.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
and before the playoffs, we'll have the play-in tournament, which we'll talk about next week too. Which there might actually be like real teams that matter in the play-in tournament that could actually do something in the playoffs too. So, plenty of stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah.
But we're not going to spend any time on basketball other than what we already have. As far as the NBA is concerned, the other big note in basketball is the national championship game for the NCAA is like right now, men's basketball. There's currently 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game, and the Jayhawks of Kansas are up by 4 at 65-61 over the Tar Heels. So last week I said Duke was going to win it all. They're not even in it, so that's how it goes. Right. All right. Yeah. So Jayhawks currently winning. I mean, they're the 1 seed, and the Tar Heels are an 8 seed. So the fact that the Tar Heels have made it this far, is pretty crazy. But I mean, that's a historically great team. They had that one guy. I don't know if you've heard of him, Michael, on the Tar Heels. His name was Michael Jordan. He used to play for them. So.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. He's not that old.
I don't know who that is, to be honest.
He kind of didn't do anything in the NBA, so. I'm sorry, basketball gods, for saying that.
Get smote right now.
Yeah. There's not really much to talk about hobby-wise with the college basketball championship. You might be like, oh, is there any young people worth talking about on either of those teams? No, not really. I think the best player as far as like potential is probably on Kansas. His name is Ochai Agbaji, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm sure I butchered that.
Ochai
Agbaji. Agbaji. And like he's a back half of the first round kind of pick, which in basketball equates to like a 3rd or 4th rounder in the NFL. So, really not much to actually talk about on either of these teams, but we'll update you when the game's over. We'll say who won and shout out their fan base, I guess.
Yeah.
But the big thing that we wanted to talk about from sports this week is the World Cup draw. It happened.
Yes.
We see the groups, and if you don't know how the World Cup works at all, the first games of the World Cup are in group stage, where each team is going to play the 3 other teams in their group twice, and the teams with the top 2 teams in each group with the most points move on out of the group stage, and they go into the knockout rounds. So we go from having 32 teams to 16 after the group stage.
Okay.
Where you get 6 group stage games for each team in there. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through each group and I'm going to say who I think the 2 best teams are. So who I think is going to come out of those group stages, and I'll say who their big players are off the top of my head, and then I'll try and say if they have any good young people that are worth like monitoring for the hobby, for the cards. Right. Yeah, looking in for buying on the low. So let's start with Group A.
Group A, we got Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. So Netherlands there? I mean...
Yeah, I think Netherlands is the highest ranked team in that group for sure. I'm using the FIFA world rankings right now. I'm looking at that. Netherlands are 10th, so yeah, they're the highest in that group, which
Okay,
means
that
a
makes sense.
pretty weak group overall. To be
Yeah.
honest, that 10 is the highest group when there's only 8 groups. So Qatar is the host country, so there might be some host country shenanigans that help them out, some easy reffing or whatever, but they're definitely not good enough to move on, even with the help of the refs. But I mean, we saw that happen last year. Russia moved a lot farther than people thought, and they were the host country. And Russia has been known to not follow the rules in a lot of stuff. So I guess that could happen with Qatar too, but I hope not. Ecuador, next team in that group. Shout out to my friend Allison. She used to live in Ecuador. Her team loves the Ecuador national team. But Ali, I'm sorry, I don't think they're moving on. I think the two teams moving on from that group are Senegal and the Netherlands. Senegal, led by Sadio Mane, who plays for Liverpool, and Edouard Mendy in goal, who plays for Chelsea. So they got some real top players on Senegal. They're they are the best team from Africa. So if Africa's got any hope of making any noise, it's through Senegal, I think. And then the Netherlands. Netherlands, their best player is another player from Liverpool. They have Virgil van Dijk, who's their defender, and then probably their best attacker, I would say, is Memphis Depay, who plays for Barcelona. Barcelona, if you're from Spain.
Relax, dude. Right? You're not from Spain.
So we got Senegal and the Netherlands moving on in Group A. Who we got in Group B, Michael?
Group B, we got the spicy group. We got England. We got Iran. We got the US of A, baby. Good old US of A.
Shout out USA national shirt right here. Let's go.
And that one is Europe playoffs, UKR, SCO versus WAL. That's what mine says here.
Yeah, no, that's what it is
Okay,
right now.
okay.
So there's a playoff that has to happen. If you're wondering who UKR is, that's Ukraine. So obviously they're not able to play their playoff to get into the World Cup quite yet.
There you are, a little busy.
So I really don't know what's gonna happen with that actually, because I don't think there's any reason to believe that they'll be able to play like anytime soon.
Not
right?
not within this year probably.
Yeah, if the World Cup's starts in like 7.5 months. I don't think they're gonna have there's no reason for me to believe that they're gonna move on. SCO is Scotland, and then WAL is Wales. All right, so you got two teams from the United Kingdom there in Scotland and Wales, and then the Ukraine. But I don't think either of those teams really matters as far as who's going to come out. I mean, obviously everybody's going to, if the Ukraine makes the World Cup, everybody's going to be cheering for the Ukraine,
Right.
But I think the U.S. and England are the two teams that are going to come out of there. I think England is ranked I want to say 4th or 5th. Yeah, they're ranked 5th. And then the U.S. is ranked 15th. So I think that those are the two teams there. And I guess this will be the first group that I have anybody to talk about. England is led by just everybody from the Premier League. I mean, you got striker, you got Harry Kane from Tottenham. Other forwards, you got Raheem Sterling, you got Marcus Rashford. You got players all over. Jack Grealish, forward line, and then midfielders, Mason Mount. They just got players all over the place. Nobody really that young, though. I guess you could try and get in on Mason Mount, but that's going to be kind of expensive either way. Jude Bellingham is another young person who's another midfielder / winger for England. So those are players you could buy. But obviously, I wanted to talk about the USA in this group a lot more than any of the other teams. Because we're from the US.
For very obvious reasons.
Yeah, I got a USA national team shirt on right now. So young players on the US team all over the place. Young, really. You got probably the name that if you follow soccer you're gonna know is Christian Pulisic. He plays on Chelsea right now. So obviously not going to be a cheap pickup because everybody that likes soccer in the U.S. wants to get a Pulisic card. So his prices are pretty high. But players you can target that are young. Giovanni Reina, who plays for Dortmund in Germany. We got Yunus Musa is the person that I'm going to be trying to target. He's a midfielder for the U.S. You can get like his raw cards right now, his 2020 Obsidian raw cards for like $73. So, something you can buy for less than $100 right there.
Dude, I don't know any of those names, man.
Yeah, the main issue with the U.S. team, and the reason they're not higher rated because they're pretty good all over the place. The main issue is they don't have a good striker, which is like arguably the most important position. And we were hoping that through qualifying they'd figure that out. They haven't really. I mean, right now it looks like it's probably going to be Ricardo Pepi. He plays. He just moved. All right, he just moved teams, so he plays over in Germany. People want him to be good, but he hasn't really done much. Josh Sargent is somebody who's already had his chance and didn't seize it. Daryl DK, the same. Pfok, also the same. So I guess Pepe, if you want to buy a young striker for the U.S., you could buy him. I wouldn't buy any of the strikers. I'd buy the wingers like Gio Reyna or Pulisic or Yunus Musa at midfield. But you could target those people, I guess. Yeah. I would say enough with that group. Who we got in Group C?
All right, over in Group C, we got Argentina, we got Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland.
Yeah, so I was trying to pick the two teams to come out of here, and Argentina, easy. I think they're ranked 4th right now, and they have that one guy called Lionel Messi. I don't know if you've heard of him. But yeah, he plays for Argentina. Good old Messi. But the other two, I mean, I was like Mexico or Poland. I'm going to go with Mexico. Their team is old. That's the issue. But at least they have like a good team overall. Poland is really just one amazing player in Robert Lewandowski and then like nobody else. Mexico's got some older dudes. They got Raul Jimenez at striker. He plays for Wolves in England. They got Chucky Lozano. Those are probably their two biggest players as far as, like gonna score goals. Those two. So yeah, give me Mexico. But I don't think there's anybody in this group that's really worth looking at money-wise because they're all kind of old.
Fair enough. All right, then over in Group D, we got France, Denmark, Tunisia, and what is that? Australia, EAU versus PE.
Yeah. We're not even going to talk about that playoff because that doesn't matter. It's going to be France, who won the last World Cup, and it's going to be Denmark are going to be the ones coming out.
This doesn't matter.
We don't even need to talk about any of the other people. I think France is like 3rd in World Cup rankings, and Denmark's like 11th, and all those other teams are like way down the list. So I don't think that's worth talking about any of that other stuff. As far as players that are good and young, I don't know. Probably the biggest player in all of like the hobby right now when it comes to soccer is Kylian Mbappe. He's young, he's amazing. He's on France, and this is probably the best time you could buy Kylian Mbappe. You could buy a PSA 9 of his Topps Chrome Champions League card from 2017. PSA 9 will run you about $193.50 from what I could see on eBay is the cheapest you could buy it for right now. Which seems like a lot of money, but we are talking about like the prodigy, and he's at a pretty low point because he had a pretty bad Euros. He's had a pretty average Premier League season, but I mean, he is, like I said, the chosen one for France. If you're looking for somebody a little bit cheaper than that, Christopher Nkunku, who's on France, he's a midfielder. You could get his silver, which is numbered to 199. You could get that for about $50. That's from 2020. So, that's probably a cheaper person to target. But honestly, I don't even know if Christopher Nkunku is going to be a big part of their team. France is just stacked. So that's one of the issues when we're talking about young people is I like
that
don't even know how much
not all
play,
all of them can succeed.
Yeah. So I mean, like I think Christopher Nkunku is like a good buy just in general. But I'm not sure there's going to be much of an uptick as far as the World Cup's concerned. But I think Kylian Mbappe If you got $200 to drop, go ahead and buy an Mbappe. That's the only thing that thing can do is go up. So that's probably one of the safer buys you can make right now. All right, what we got in Group E, Mike?
Group E, we got Spain, we got Germany, we got Japan, and then we got what is that? New Zealand versus.
I think it's Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Spain and Germany are going to be the two that'll come out of this for sure. We got some classics, right? Spain and Germany.
Isn't Germany like higher rated? Aren't they like number 2 or one or two?
Spain is 7th, and no, Belgium is 2. I think that's what
you're.
Germany's 12th.
Okay.
So you got Spain at 7, Germany at 12. Yeah. So Germany and Spain both have young people that are worth talking about. All right. So the German player that I am already got a while back is Karim Adeyemi. He's a striker. He plays for RB Salzburg, so he plays over in Austria. He's young. It's one of those kind of issues. I'm not sure how much playing time he's going to get in the World Cup. I think that's somebody worth just buying in general. But I think he could play pretty well in the World Cup. Another person you can target is Kai Havertz. He plays for Chelsea, so he's going to be more expensive than Karim Adeyemi. But those are both players from Germany I'd recommend buying. You can get Adeyemi a sparkled card like this one right here. All right, like this one. See this? I have an SGC 10 Karim Adeyemi sparkle. It's like 130 out of 175 is my card. So you can get this number to 175. It runs you about 130. But you can buy this card raw for like $25, So a numbered card you could pick up for like $25 for a player that I think could be the real deal. So, that's probably one of my bigger buy recommendations of this whole damn thing.
Okay.
And then Spain is loaded with young people. All right. Spain had the issue of being old. Well, they don't have that issue anymore. All right. They have Gavi, they have Pedri, they have Ansu Fati. That's their like front line, and they're all young people.
I say it sounds like they're gonna run the same issue that you said that France had, right? Where it's kind of like hard to see them all getting playtime.
Yeah, well, I think all three of those are going to get playtime. I think if Spain is smart, those three players are going to be like in their front five for sure. Gavi, Pedri, and Fati. They all play for Barcelona too, so they have like a little homie connection, They all play together they play together on their club teams. The card that I have out of that group, I have this Ansu Fati card right here. 2019 Topps Chrome UCL PSA 10. You can pick this bad boy up for like $90. He's not the one I would recommend, but he's the one I have. I would recommend getting Pedri. I think Pedri is, I don't know, Pedri. I don't even want to say there's a ceiling on Pedri. Like Pedri could be like, I don't want to say like Messi, but I'm talking like best player in the world is where Pedri could be. All right, so if you can get anything numbered of Pedri. That's with these young dudes. Don't buy their base cards. Buy either parallels that are unnumbered or numbered parallels for sure. If you could find a Pedri, buy a Pedri. I mean, it's not gonna be cheap, but I think that's another really safe buy. All right, next group, Mike.
All right, next group over in Group F, we have Belgium. We have Canada. We have
Canada.
Morocco. Then we have Croatia.
Yeah, so this is
Croatia.
They always talk about Croatia worst team. No, not Croatia. Morocco worst team. They always talk about like the group of death in soccer, and I look through these groups, and I don't think there's really a group of death, but I would say that this one is probably the hardest group, which sucks because I really wanted Canada, and I'm still gonna pick Canada to come out of this, but they're gonna have a hard time because Croatia. I'd say Canada is the better overall team, but I think Croatia has the best player. They have Luka Modric, who's old, but we are talking about somebody who won the Ballon d'Or, which is the best player in all of soccer. It's like the MVP kind of. Okay. Soccer's international.
Yeah, the world.
And, yeah, in 2018, Luka Modric won the Ballon d'Or for how well his team did in the last World Cup and how well his club team did. He plays for Real Madrid. But I'm not recommending buying any Luka Modric, unless you just want like a historically great player, then that's probably one of the best midfielders of all time. So why not buy him? The teams that I'm going to pick to come out of there are going to be Belgium and Canada, which I guess is my first underdog pick, really. Canada coming out, but I just think Canada's good, man. And Belgium is like the second-ranked national team in the world, so that's not anything surprising.
Yeah.
They're historically disappoint. Like, people have been saying they're going to win stuff for like the past, like, I don't know, 8 years, and they haven't won anything. So that's it. They're kind of like I don't know. I was listening to a podcast recently, and they compared them to Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, I know.
Always gets to the playoffs and just falls apart completely.
Yeah, pretty much. Makes it a decent far in a tournament, and then falls apart. But they have amazing players. They have Kevin De Bruyne, he's my favorite player.
I've definitely heard that name, De Bruyne.
Yeah, he plays for Manchester City, so that's why you've heard his name. You've heard me scream his name. They got Romelu Lukaku at striker. They got Eden Hazard at also another winger. And they got Thibaut Courtois between the sticks back in goal. So their team's loaded. I think they got a shot to go pretty far, but I'm not going to pick them to win for reasons that we already talked about. Canada, though. Canada's got two really good players. They got Jonathan David, and they got Alfonso Davies. Let me show you the Alfonso Davies right here.
Hey, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, this is my first soccer card that I ever bought right here. That was great, and I bought this Alfonso Davies. It's been a pretty good buy, honestly. You can get Alfonso Davies cards like that one for $130. PSA 10, Donruss rated rookie from 2018, about $130. Alfonso Davies is the best player that Canada's got. The only issue is he's not in a position that is a premium, but he is Canada's best player, and Canadians got some money. So, it's not bad to have Canada's best player when Canadians are pretty wealthy people. So, it works. I'd recommend throwing some money in Alfonso Davies if you can.
Doesn't sound like a bad purchase.
Nope.
All right, then over in Group G, we got Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon.
Yeah, you got the number 1 ranked team in the world in Brazil right there.
All right, so Brazil's number 1 in the world?
Yep.
Okay.
Brazil is number 1. And so I'm going to pick Brazil and Switzerland to come out of this. Obviously, being number 1 means they have a really good team just overall. They have probably the best goalkeeper in the world. Actually, they probably have 2 of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world on their team, which is a travesty, meaning that one of them is just not going to play. So you got Alisson from Liverpool, who's probably the better of the 2, which saddens me to say because the other player plays for Manchester City, and he's Ederson. And you're going to be like, why does he keep just saying one name? It's pretty common in Brazil, I guess, is just having one name. Or at least, like, only having one name on your kits, or people go by one name. I think they actually have, like, 45 names in Brazil, but they only go by one. Yeah, so, I mean, people are picking Brazil's the favorite to win it all, so.
That good, huh?
Yep, that good. They got Neymar, obviously, is probably their most recognizable player.
Yeah, Neymar.
But he's a little on the older side. They got Vinicius Jr., who is, I would say, is probably their best young-ish player, but you're not going to be able to get any Vinny cards for cheap. Vinny is super expensive already. They have Gabrielle Martinelli, who's a young dude. He's in the Road to Qatar stuff that's coming out right now as a rookie. Like, he's the rookie chaser in that product. But, it might be one of those situations where I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. He plays in Arsenal, but, I'm trying to pick him up just in general, not necessarily for the World Cup, but I'm just buying him in general. But, yep, and then Switzerland, they got Xherdan Shaqiri as a winger. I know they have him. He just signed to the MLS. He's on the older side. He used to play for, like, Liverpool and big teams, but he's on the way out. They have Granit Xhaka, who plays for Arsenal, so they got some people. So yeah, Brazil and Switzerland. Cameroon is like a sleeper team from Africa, but I don't think so. So Brazil and Switzerland for me.
Okay. Over in Group H, we got Portugal, Ghana, right? That?
Yep, Ghana. Yep.
Uruguay, and South Korea.
Okay, so the team that I generally cheer for if the U.S. isn't around is Portugal. They're the 8th ranked team in the world right now, so I'm probably definitely going to say Portugal. And you might know this one guy that they have on their team called Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't
Who's
know if you
that?
know. Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if you know him really. But the Portuguese team, again, on paper is just stacked. I never understand why. I mean, they've won some stuff with Ronaldo, but they haven't won any World Cups. They have Bruno Fernandes from Manchester United. They have Bernardo Silva from Manchester City. They have João Cancelo from Manchester City. They have they're probably their best young player. 2018 top Scrum UEFA Champions League João Felix. Joao Felix. I think
Okay.
it's Zhao is how you
Zhao.
pronounce it. Yeah.
Zhao Felix.
He's from Atletico Madrid in Spain is where he plays professionally, and you can get his card for about 130, the PSA 10 of the base card. You can get a PSA 9 of his refractor for 120, which is the buy I would recommend because, like I said, don't try and buy base, but try and buy parallels. So refractor is just another way of saying like silver hollow, like the base hollow.
Okay.
PSA 9 for 120 bucks for João Felix. He was somebody that everybody was trying to get in 2018. Like straight up, like a big chaser. I would say he probably hasn't lived up to that level of hype, but he's still a good player. So, not a bad buy. And then the team that I think is going to join them would be Uruguay. But the team I want to join them is Ghana, because they have a really good young player named Mohamed Kudus. He's probably, I would say, he's one of the top 3 buys that I'm recommending right now to go
Okay.
along with who have I been talking up? I've been talking up Kylian Mbappe just as like a good safe buy that can only really go up. Kareem Adeyemi and then Mohamed Kudus would be the 3. Yeah, that's my list. Mohamed Kudus, you can get his Obsidian cards, which Obsidian is a pretty high quality set of cards. You can get his silver to 199 for like 50 bucks raw. All right, so that's a buy that anybody could do. Mohamed Kudus, go out and get him, everybody.
Okay.
Even if he doesn't advance, he's still gonna get. People are still gonna see him, because he plays for Ajax, which is a pretty good Dutch team, but Dutch teams aren't in the spotlight. But you get in the spotlight when you're in the World Cup and you do something.
True.
And I think he'll do something. So yeah. But people are probably Uruguay is definitely the favorite to get that second spot. They have like Luis Suarez and some pretty big people. So they're the 13th ranked team nationally. So yeah, it's probably gonna be Uruguay, but Ghana, I just like the idea better.
Yeah.
And then South Korea. South Korea, that's a pretty good group overall because South Korea is good. They have a really amazing player who plays for Tottenham. His name is Heung-min Son. I love watching Heung-min Son play. He's awesome. He's just not on Manchester City. If he were on Manchester City, he'd probably be one of my favorite players. So,
Fair enough.
Yep, and
all right, and I think that is it for the group stages. That's all the groups.
Yeah, that's all the groups. And like we said, those top 2 teams are going to move on to the knockout round. So when the World Cup gets closer, we're going to revisit all this, talk about it. But since the group stage just got announced, we wanted to devote a good amount of time to it so that you have time to make some of those buys. You can go out and make those moves before everybody else gets all hyped up for the World Cup because it's still 7 months away. So you could make some sneaky good buys right now. And as you saw, I'm already invested in this, so I'm not just I'm not just out here speaking like oh yeah, throw money at it. I've thrown some money at it, so I've looked into it. So yeah. And if you couldn't tell, we've spent a long time talking about soccer. So Mikey, what kind of packs do you think we're gonna open, dude?
Probably some hockey. That's my guess.
Yeah, we're gonna open some.
Maybe some F1 packs.
Oh God, if we had F1 packs, those things are expensive as hell, dude. They don't really have they don't have the cheap versions. You know how we buy cello packs and
they
stuff
only
like
have
that? They don't
expensive
have that for
stuff.
F1. They just have hobby packs, and those things are running $1,300.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, F1 is crazy. We would talk about it because it's pretty big in the hobby, but like I said, we just can't afford any of that shit. So no F1 talk. We're gonna be opening soccer. We're gonna be opening this specifically, 2019 Chronicles Cello, which Chronicles, we already opened a Chronicles cello for soccer, but we did 2020, which I told you guys when we opened it was kind of a crappy product. I said I preferred 2019 a lot more. Well, guess what? We got 2019 now.
Okay.
We're going to open 2 of these. Each of them runs you about $35. Inside of each of these cello packs is 3 smaller packs where you get 5 cards from the Premier League in one pack, 5 cards from La Liga, which is the Spanish league, and then 5 cards from Series A, which is the Italian league. All right, so switching cameras. All right, so here are the 2 packs right here. We got, again, they're the same product, 2019 Chronicles Soccer. So let's get one.
You said that those were running for about how much each?
$35
each. Okay.
Yeah, the big chaser in here is out of Serie A, so the Italian league. There is Dusan Vlahovic. You can find his rookie ticket in here, which raw runs you about $160. So that would be pretty sick. Yeah, that would be sick. Another person who used to be a chaser in this product was Marcus Rashford, who played for Manchester United, but he's a terrible person. So we hope we don't pull any of him.
What did he do?
But he'll, has videos of him beating up on a lady. So, not good. Yeah. So we got both of our packs open. What we're gonna do is we're gonna divide them up based off of the the league packs. All right. So we got 2 Premier Leagues, 2 La Ligas, and 2 Serie A's right here. Since it's the same product, obviously there's no real point in matching them up against each other. So we're gonna save Serie A for last. We'll do Premier League in the middle, and then we'll do La Liga first. All right. So let's open those 2 La Liga packs. There we go. Don't cheat. Don't look at the back, Casey. Don't cheat. All right.
All right.
You know what? That is a pretty good rookie card to start off the bat. Rodrigo. I believe he's on. I know it says Real Madrid. I want to say he's on Leeds now, but I might.
Who is that?
What's
that name?
So. Rodrigo. Rodrigo.
What's his? This is Rodrigo. Soccer?
Yeah, like I said, these Brazilian people, dude, just one name.
Rodrigo Moreno.
Maybe. Where does it say he plays on?
Why do they only have one name? This one looks right. He was on Real Madrid.
Yeah, is he still on Real Madrid? Is he on Leeds now?
Leeds United. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought he was. Sick. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Lago Jr., like when they're early on like that, Mike, you're going to see him bouncing around a lot because like he's in the Real Madrid youth system, but let's be honest, it's going to take a lot to play for Real Madrid, so they'll bounce around pretty early on. A lot of players were. So Lago Jr., another rookie card, but I don't recognize that name like I do Rodrigo, so we're going to put that in the rookie card pile. So we're going to have base cards, base cards. We're going to have rookie cards, and then we're going to have good cards over there. That's how we're going to do this. Ruben Vezo, so base card. We got a blue Ivan Rakitic for FC Barcelona. Pretty good player. He's Croatian, by the way, so we talked about Croatia. Well, Ivan Rakitic will be there. And then we got Sergi Guardiola rookie card. He's a forward. I was going to say, is this guy related to Pep Guardiola, who's the manager of Manchester City? But no, he's not, I guess. That's the first thing the back of the card says. In case you're wondering, Guardiola has no family ties to Pep. That's rough. Like on your card, the first thing is, he's not related to the other guy.
He's not as good as the other.
All right, our second pack from La Liga. We have Alexi Vidal, Pervis Estupinan. What?
What?
Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, so FC Barcelona's keeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We got Ever Banega for Sevilla, and then we got a card that's upside down, which in this pack means something. Yeah, we got a rookie ticket.
Oh.
All right, so that's one of the better things. If that were a Dusan Vlahovic, that would be the thing we're looking after. But Kong In Lee. So, Mikey, why don't you look that up? 2019 Contenders rookie ticket, Kong In Lee, and see if that's worth anything. It's probably not worth a lot.
Kong In Lee?
Yep, Kong In Lee.
Let's see.
But rookie tickets are pretty rare, so.
Well, this is not one that's been sold yet. Let me do this here. Ticket. Wait, why did it? That's weird.
What's weird about it?
Go ahead and move forward. I'm gonna keep looking this up. It's just I was trying to copy paste this and that wasn't rolling.
We're moving on to the Premier League packs now. So this is English soccer, Premier League. Two teams that are racing for the title in that, Manchester City and Liverpool. All right, so let's see. All right off the top, we got a Manchester City card. He doesn't play for Manchester City anymore, but Nicholas Otamendi, defender. We got Andros Townsend from Crystal Palace. I don't think he's on Crystal Palace anymore either. We got Kenny McNeil for Norwich, rated rookie.
All right, so the base card going back really quick. So the base card unrated, selling for about $5, $4.25, $5.
Okay, that's worth a sleeve, but not worth a top loader. $5, not bad. We got an orange laser, Wilfred Zaha, press proof. Wilfred Zaha is a pretty good player. I like Wilfred Zaha a lot, so that's probably worth a couple bucks right there. And then we got, you know what? That's not a bad rookie to get either. The Prism rookie, we have Moise Khan, who plays for, I want to say, PSG now, but this is when he's from Everton, so that's probably worth a couple bucks too. Well, we're not doing too bad on the rookies thus far. All right, other Premier League pack. That Wilfred Zaha is just cool for me. Probably not worth that much money, but it looks cool. All right, so we got Nicolas Pepe rated rookie. That's another good card, dude. We're doing pretty good on rookies, man.
Let's go.
Jeffrey Schulp. Yeah, that's why this class is good, right? This is why I said this product was good, is because there's decent players you can get all over the place. We got Tengi and Ndombele from Tottenham. We got an orange press proof in here. We got Antonio Rudiger for Chelsea. If you're a Chelsea fan, you probably like Rudiger. If you're not a Chelsea fan, you hate Rudiger. He plays pretty tough, right? He's a defender who plays hard soccer. He's also on the German national team, so he'll definitely be playing in the World Cup. And then our Prism rated rookie is Mate Vidra. Yeah.
Mate Vidra.
Mate Vidra. Right, we're only putting it over in this pile just because it's a rookie. I mean, it's a Prism rookie, so let's get him put over there. All right, and the last two are the Serie A cards, which we're hoping for that Vlahovic. That's the big chaser overall is the Vlahovic. So, God, that'd be super sick if we get one. Hopefully I don't rip it or anything like that. This pack is not wanting to open all that well. There we go. Don't look at the back card because that's where the rookie ticket will be if it's there. We don't want to cheat yet. Alfred Duncan. I've never heard of that person before in my life. Marco Calderoni. Jesse Jordan. We got an extra points prestige. Rodrigo the Cow. And then we got an XR Mirai Demiral. All right, not the guy we wanted to see there, which means we got one more chance at him. One more chance.
We got it. We got it.
If it's in here, it's going to be the last card. That's where they throw those rookie tickets. So we don't want to cheat and look at it.
What's the name?
Dusan Vlahovic. Luigi Sepe.
That's a sick first name.
Luigi, yeah. It's not back there, Mikey. It's not back there. Dig it. Gary Metal. Alan or Alan. Rodrigo Bacau again. And then our card in the back is an orange rated rookie from Donruss Elite. That's cool. I haven't seen a Donruss Elite card out of this. Domenico Berardi. All right, no Vlahovic, but we got some good rookies there. We're definitely not going to make the 70 back out of it, but it's not going to be a big L like the last time we opened cards on the
so awful.
There's a couple cards we're sleeving. There's a couple cards we're selling. And as always, right, if you liked any of these cards, if you're a big-time soccer fan, which I frankly don't know if any of the people that watch the show are, I'm a pretty big soccer fan, though. If you are, let us know, and we'll give you these cards for cheaper than they go for on eBay. That's the deal we'll make with you right now.
Sir.
Cheaper than they go for.
Alright guys, and that is it for today's video. As always, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little notification bell so that you can see when we go live. You can join us while we make these videos without seeing the edited version, so you can see Casey moving his camera back and forth. We'll interact with you in the chat or what have you. But yeah, so the 2 packs we opened today were both worth $35. It was the Casey, name them off for me again.
2019 Chronicles Soccer.
Okay.
If you can read that there. 2019
35 each, so a total of 70. Don't think we got that $70 back, but we definitely got a decent amount of rookie cards. Definitely a lot better than last week's opening, which if you watched that was actually horrendous. But
yeah, that was the worst opening of cards.
But yeah, guys, so next Monday we'll see you then, and at that point we'll probably be talking about the NBA most of that video, as that's when we're going to be.
Oh, and Mike, yeah, we'll just tease it. I should have my big come up from the week, like,
in the mail?
should arrive in the mail.
Okay. Oh, I remember
that I told
you
about. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll show that off.
All
right, guys. Well, as always, glad to do this with you guys, and we will see you next Monday. Peace.
Peace.